Hey everybody, welcome to How Do I Know You with your hosts Mark and Dwayne.
What up?
Please make sure to follow and subscribe on Spotify and iTunes. Leave a review, 5 stars, all that good stuff. Getting the early plugs out of the way.
All that cool stuff. Go stream Northside Summer. By the time you guys see this, it's out. So go stream it. If you would, which would be dope, go purchase it. That'll be dope. I think it's available on iTunes.
Check this out. I know a good reason for you to go buy it. So you have this on your phone and you could hear it anytime you want. The first track features Manny Montana.
It does.
Exclusive.
Exclusive right there. So if you don't give two shits about us, or I guess me, because it's my music, right? You at least have that to jerk off, edit, like. You can make his whole statement and story about yourself. You can somehow splice it in with your voice.
If you're that good of a sound editor, give us a call because we're looking for a team.
Exactly, yeah.
That'd be great.
We're gonna need an engineer soon enough. But like all that. All right, go do it. Go do it for that.
He's on a project,
yeah. If you want to just support the music you think is dope, do it for that reason too. All right. But
today's topic is
it's not. It's gonna be the topic, but we're gonna do what we always do, and we're gonna end up going
off the rails.
Yeah, going to a whole bunch of million other places with this. But so there was a lot of interesting conversations that came from the whole Jay-Z NFL deal, right? That happened last week, and there was right after I guess we did the podcast, there was a report that Jermaine Dupri had said, or at least someone heard from him, that he was offered the same deal as Jay-Z, and Jay-Z called him personally and was like, "Hey, I wouldn't fuck with the NFL like that." And then Jay-Z ended up doing the same deal. And then since then, that's been Jermaine Dupri himself has come out and said that wasn't true. Like it wasn't the same deal or anything like that. It was something different.
Yeah, saving face.
Okay. Yeah, it can be looked at that or seen that way. But now, Dame Dash, for people who don't know Dame Dash, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and Kareem Biggs, Burke, I think his name is. They created Rockefeller, right? So. Basically, I guess to break it down, Jay-Z was the artist, Dame was like the manager, and he was the one that from that era. So this is about like mid to late 90s until when the Rockefeller breakup, 04, 05, 06 or whatever, right? Dame Dash gets a lot of credit for being the mastermind behind a lot of the artists, and he was the one who was particularly going into these offices and fighting for the artists and fighting for these budgets and fighting for these people's albums to come out during this time and fighting for them to get radio play and everything like that. He was the guy. Also, he was the I think he was the mastermind behind at the time Rockaware. He was the mastermind behind Almondale, and they had that fucking vodka that everyone says tasted like awful, but hey, he was the mastermind behind that. He was the mastermind behind a lot, and also he ended up. There's a couple legendary like hood films. The one Paid in Full. He I don't know if he directed it, but I know he produced it, and I want to say he helped write that script too. I want to say he's very talented. But I'm not too sure. He also created Rachel Roy, which is like $100 million clothing company. I don't know if he sold it or anything. He's done a lot, right?
So he's worked closely with Jay-Z for a long time.
Right, up until that point. Ever since Rockefeller breaking up, they haven't worked together and they haven't been cool.
At least in public, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm going to say this now. From Dame, he's never really been a liar. And from what we know of him and where everyone speaks of him, he doesn't lie. He's very vocal about those things. He has kept his stance that they don't talk. And they, I think they've seen each other a couple times, had a couple conversations or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have issues with each other, quote unquote, but they don't do any business with each other.
With that kind of stuff, especially like with having to do with celebrities and crap like that, because we know a narrative needs to be had.
Right.
I just don't believe it pretty much anything until I see it for myself. So like, oh,
Right.
that story is great, but they could have been working on like, oh, did you know Dame and Jay-Z actually own this together?
Yeah,
Blah,
it's
blah,
like
blah.
we don't really know, but
Yeah.
from the narrative that is put out in the public, they don't speak, which is again it's kind of weird because they knew each other since they were like teenagers. So again, they came up not necessarily in the streets together, but they were hustling, doing their own thing. They ended up linking with each other,
Yeah.
and that's how Rockefeller came about. And also, they have a lot of mutual friends. So again, it's very hard to believe that Which I mean, it's not hard to believe because that does happen. There's people who don't talk, but like they know the same people and everything like that. It's easy to happen, but I feel like in an industry like the entertainment industry, it's like if you need a favor, like someone is like,
Yeah, when there's like this amount of money involved, personal shit like that, it's like, whatever. Like we have beef, but we can make $100 million
right,
if we just appear together.
right.
Yeah, let's throw away the beef and just
Right. Pretty much Dame Dash came out uh, as pretty much the person who, besides I guess Beyonce and maybe Jay-Z's like biological parents, would I guess you would say that knows him the best and everything.
Right.
He came out and did he did No Jumper. He did that podcast, and a clip got released today where he was saying that the guy the host Adam 22 basically asked Dame what he felt about Jay-Z and the NFL deal, and it's a long clip. It's about 22 minutes, right? So
And we'll play that right now.
yeah, so listen up for that while we take a shit. No, but it's about 22 minutes. I'm gonna get to the point of it. The first like 5 minutes, he says like the controversial comment, right? And then like the next like 10 minutes is all a bunch of bullshit. And then like towards the end, it goes back to the Jay-Z thing, and then he'll kind of bring his point home, right? But he says that he pretty much says that Jay-Z, everyone knows in the industry. I don't know if he just means hip hop or if he means like entertainment industry period, but he's like everyone knows that Jay-Z is full of shit. Jay-Z has always been full of shit. Pretty much he's for himself. He's for himself. He's always about quote unquote. His quote was he's about the bag, which we know like he's about money. He's about whatever the biggest check is. He's gonna go that route and everything like that. He's like it's been proven. People in the industry know that and everything. He goes on later on to double down on it, and then he adds to it by saying, he sees Jay-Z as Trump. And he was like, Donald Trump can say and do all these wild things, but people just forgive him because, people support him so heavily and everything like that. He said Jay-Z says and does all these wild things, and the same thing happens. Like, we just forgive him, and it's whatever. But he was like, pretty much like, he ended it kind of weird because he was like, because the host was kind of asking him about the deal, and he was like, "What's the deal?" And then the host was like, "Well, he's partnering with the NFL," and he's like, "No, what's the deal?" He was like, he's like, you guys have to understand. He's like, they don't announce deals without there being actual parameters or specifics. Yeah. He's like they've just been saying that he has a partnership with the NFL, but we don't know anything about it. He's like, you don't make an announcement about a deal saying that hey, we have a deal. That's not a deal. That's nothing. He was like, so I'm not going to speak on like the deal that we know nothing about because we don't know anything about it. Which I was like, well, you kind of just spoke on it. Like the first 20 minutes of the fucking thing. But whatever. So that got me thinking, right? Because we already touched on this last week and everything. Yeah. But it's a very interesting point of view because for people who know Dame Dash, and Dame Dash is a legend, he is a person who he's very ethics and integrity based, right? He does everything based off of, in his mind, what's right and what's wrong. He once had this, which now it's legendary, but back when he said it, it was looked at as crazy, right? But I think it was like 5-6 years ago. He had this legendary interview on the Breakfast Club where he was talking about ownership and owning, being able to start businesses and own things like that. And then he flat out said he was like, if you have a job or if you work for another man, you're not a boss to me. He was like pretty much basically saying like quit your job, go start a business and everything, because that's what really matters in the world. Ownership. Like all this other shit, oh, I have a good job and everything like that. He's like, you work for somebody. As long as you work for somebody, you ain't got shit. Yeah. And everything like that. Which at the time, again, crazy, because you're telling you basically, you being someone who's of wealth and who's rich is telling people who don't have that shit, quit. What are you doing? Your life sucks. Why are you working for people? Like, but
it's funny because like when people like that say shit like that, technically it's true, but at the same time it's not based in reality.
It's not, right? And he wasn't basing it in reality, but fast forward now that everyone's so heavily based off of content and ownership and owning their thing, especially in hip hop with owning your masters and all this stuff. Now that interview is looked at like a master class, because he pretty much was saying everything that people do now, which is like, own your shit, don't give anyone your fucking rights, own all that shit, bet on yourself, pretty much. That was the whole point of the interview, just bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And so he's very integrity ethics based. What we know from Jay-Z, at least like you said, what gets spun now is, we hear about the socially conscious Jay-Z and the very ethical Jay-Z and how he cares about the community and all these things like that, right? But something that I feel like now has become now like folklore, but I'm pretty sure you remember, there was like between like 99 to like 2010, 2011, there was like nonstop rumors and damn near proof that like Jay-Z was like a Mason and in the Illuminati and all this stuff. You remember that stuff? Like it was like damn near every album he came out with. It was like, you see that right there? He's
he's
throwing up this, or
he's
and it's like, oh, there's Masonic symbols like all around the album and all this stuff, and like magically they just kind of disappeared, like magically, right? But I'm not saying anything about that because I don't give a fuck if he is or he isn't. But the thing that has been true is that Jay-Z has been able to withstand the test of time when it comes to a lot of things, hip hop, business, and all those things. But a lot of people say that he is a very shrewd businessman, and from everything that he's done, because he's been in a lot of situations where he should have lost, but everything that he's done, he's come out on top of. So when we get into the whole point of the podcast, which is ethics versus business, I guess my first question to you and to everyone out there is, who would you rather be? Would you rather be Jay-Z, which is you have all this money and everything, and you have the ability to do things where you can A, help people, but B, we don't really know if you are or aren't.
Right. The people that get helped, they get helped.
They get helped.
But they're not the priority.
Right.
The priority is to make money and...
Right.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be Dame Dash, who is also rich, just not as much as Jay-Z, and who has, time and time again has put his, or at least, his narrative, he's put his ethics and he's put his integrity out first before trying to make a buck.
Right. He'll lose the money so that, like, you don't get screwed over, basically.
Right.
Personally, in a world where you have to choose one and there's no it depends and there's no, well, if I was Jay-Z, I would just be the ethical Jay-Z and blah, blah, blah. With all that in mind, I would be fucking Jay-Z and then have his money. Because, anyone that doesn't, like, you're fucking lying. You're fucking lying, man. Like, you don't want that shit. You don't want that power. You don't want that fucking money to be like, hey, I want to do this. I have this idea. It gets done like this. He had the idea to, like, I'm going to own an NFL team. It fucking took a while because it's a huge idea, but it fucking happened.
Or at least he's about to.
Yeah, he's about to. Anyone that says they would trade or whatever, all this crap and blah, 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 doesn't have it. Because once you get it and once you realize how much fucking work it takes to get there, to get to that level and to get that power, you're not doing any of that. You're going to keep it. You're like, no, fuck all of you. I worked this fucking hard. I bet on myself time and time again. I took all the fucking risk while you guys weren't there. I'm gonna risk that for you guys. Why?
See, when it comes to Jay, and like I said, we started with him, but we're gonna use him as an example for like people who are super uber successful and things like that, right? They always get compared to being shrewd businessmen, one, and then they always talk about, oh, I took risk and things like that. But when you kind of go down to like the nitty gritty of like these quote unquote risks and things like that, right? You kind of end up on the same block or in the same ballpark where it's like the risks, quote unquote, were they really risks because it's like if you have all this wealth and influence or whatever, right? Are you can you really lose?
Nothing is guaranteed. I put it that way. Nothing is guaranteed. No matter who you are.
Right.
Nothing is guaranteed. Because if we go, let's say if we go Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before Trump took over his dad's business, it was booming, right? Because of all the shady racist shit that he was doing, right?
Right.
Trump took it over, and technically he had all that, right? Influence, power, all that crap. He knew all the right people.
Right.
Still went bankrupt however many times in a row. Got it back because of the name and shit like that, but still it failed time and time again.
Right.
So all that stuff, it's not guaranteed. Like the whole like betting on yourself, it's like you have to do due diligence to keep it going, to make sure it stays afloat.
Right.
Like you can't like having that name and influence. Definitely, you start like halfway down the line. You're not starting at the fucking start with everybody else. You're way ahead. You got that privilege over there. Mm-hmm. So you're starting far in advance. But I'm gonna say nothing is guaranteed.
Well, see, that's kind of my point. When you use Trump as the example, yeah, he did file for bankruptcy 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. That's something where I look at that and it's like, that would be my prime example because it's like, does he get the opportunity to make it back and everything if he's not Donald Trump Jr.? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's a junior, right?
I'm not sure what his dad's name was. I'm not sure what his dad's name was.
His son might be the junior. Fuck
yeah.
It, whatever.
But anyways, yeah, it wasn't him. It wasn't him that started it.
It wasn't him and everything like that. He has the ability to be like, okay, I have this unlimited source of resources, people who I either owe my father or they're gonna help me because of what my father's done and so on and so forth and everything like that. And of course, then at that point, you know, his father's out of the picture, so it's like, okay, I have to now forge these relationships, keep them going to get this type of shit and everything like that. So that's where I'm kind of saying, you know, is it really a risk? Because I feel like a risk is like right now, me and you got 20 grand in between us, right?
Yeah.
We go see like we meet someone who has this, we think it's a dope idea for a startup, and it's like, hey, I just need this and this and whatever. The risk is we're risking our 20 grand, which is all we have to us, right?
Right.
To this person, and the idea sounds fucking fail-proof, but the risk is we can lose everything. And not to mention we can be fucking looked at as frauds because we're going down with this nigga because we're going in business with
our names are signed onto these papers shit, and right? Shit. Yeah, I mean it's a different risk because our risk is like it's like again we're starting at the start. We don't have no privilege. We don't have like all we got like is a guess, a gut feeling.
Right.
We don't have like the lawyers that these people have to protect them if something does happen. You know, it's still a risk. It's just not as great as a risk we would take.
Right.
If we decided to do it at this stage.
Right.
Because one day it's gonna be like, it's not really a risk.
Right, and I would feel like it's because of the same reasons, again, because I feel like something that definitely needs to be like highlighted is none of these people become this successful by being dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna happen. Mm-mm. Like, so.
And if you are dumb, I mean, you file for bankruptcy like Trump.
Yeah, like, eventually you're gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, and the thing is, like, when I look at people like a Jay-Z, like a Trump, you know, me and your sister got into it over a Kim Kardashian. and I feel like now looking back at it, it's the philosophy of everything because I'm looking at her and being like, okay, she has a talent because she's not stupid. She's capitalizing off of it.
Yeah.
Your sister was like, no, she's capitalizing off of stupid people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to break it down, I guess, with what I'm saying now, it's like you can't throw out anything and make a profit. Everyone knows that. Like, you can't. Like, if for everyone out there, you want to, if you guys have an idea to sell something, go out, make the idea, and then try to walk up them down the street and sell it to people.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you might get maybe 1 or 2 people to actually buy it. And that might be because A, they either are crazy, B, they're trying to be nice to you until you get the fuck out their face, without telling you get the fuck out their face, or 3 or whatever, they might actually believe in it.
Right. Which is why these people use their influence. Like, it'd be dumb not to. Like,
exactly.
Prime example, we've already done it. We've done it since fucking you guys have started have known us. We've had Manny on.
Yeah.
We've had Adelpha on.
Yeah.
Like, we love them, and like it's fun having them on, but their influence is what got you here, right? And that's why you keep listening. Because a lot of you have said that. Like, I only came here to listen to them, but you guys turned out to be like amazing, awesome, great. Your words, not ours.
Assholes. Nah, but exactly.
But it's like that. You'd be dumb not to, especially if you're risking your money. Like, you're gonna use every advantage you can.
Yeah, because if you, and that's where, like, I feel like it's such a fine line between being ethical and then being a businessman. Because at the end of the day, it's like the people that people look at and they're like, oh, they're such great people and everything like that. It's like, if you only knew the people who they probably fucked over, if you only really knew, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, someone like a Jay-Z and everything, we look at him as like, oh yeah, he's such a dope dude, cares about the community and everything like that. But we can look at something that was very public and it's been the truth as far as we know it. But as we talked about Rockefeller, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, that was a partnership. They both owned Rockefeller, and literally the whole situation, I guess, to put in the quickest terms possible, is Jay-Z became the president at Def Jam. Rockefeller was signed to Def Jam. That was the parent company. During this time, a lot of like music was changing. A lot of different artists were becoming popular around this time. Or around this time period, 50 Cent is like killing everything. So Rockefeller had its run between like 99 to like 03, like it was Rockefeller everything. Like
I forgot. Didn't you told me like a long time ago? Like, he fired a lot of those people, right? Like, after that 50 Cent thing came out, and they were like, "You guys aren't putting in the work. You guys are out of here."
Yeah,
that was Rockefeller. That was that group.
Yeah, okay. that was that label because he didn't fire. Well, he did, but the whole story it goes is that he told everyone that, hey, like 50 Cent is coming. Like, this is like during the mixtapes when 50 Cent is getting popular. He's like, no, this nigga is gonna be the next thing. We gotta get ahead of this.
Yeah.
And they were like, again, because at that time you on top. It's like, who the fuck is this nigga? I don't care.
Of course,
like, they ain't gonna do shit.
Anybody on top just thinks they're untouchable.
Right. So then when 50 came, it was like, oh, what the fuck we gonna do now? And then he's sitting there like, yeah, no, I told you. But this is why, of course, the timelines are very. It's so dope how because again, he is very smart. 50 Cent comes, Jay-Z retires a couple months later.
Right, the whole like big old.
Right, the whole big whatever. Right, 50 Cent's peak is from 03 to late 05. Right, that's when he's at his hottest.
Right,
Jay-Z comes back late 05. 50 Cent loses to Kanye 06. Jay-Z back on top.
Yeah.
Seamlessly. Like, and then it's so crazy how, like, again, I'm a hip-hop nerd, so I see the shit, but it's like, it so seems how he did it, and I was like, damn, he just got away with that.
Yeah, he played chess. He was just like, you know what? Chess.
He was like,
the only thing I could do to, like, stay in the limelight, retire. Let this dude have his run.
Let this shit die down, and then I'll just come right back. Because I can't, if I try to play with him, he's so big right now. He's dissing everybody. He already dissed me. Like, I might just get caught up in this shit.
Exactly. Like, and he came back, and then, like, of course, because people want you to come back because you're retiring at such an early age, quote unquote, whatever. That when you come back, it's this huge deal, and you're guaranteed to fucking be like number one, probably. Right.
So, but to get to that whole point, when Jay retires, he ends up becoming the president of Def Jam, and now the plan is, okay, they have Rockefeller. Jay's the president. This is gonna be like ultra now. Like basically, Def Jam is gonna be fucking Rockefeller, like and everything like that. But what happens is a couple other high power people in positions, they make a couple switches. Dame, like I said earlier in the podcast, Dame was the one going into the office and screaming on people and trying to get his artists, the respect that they were due and everything like that. So a lot of people in the office didn't like Dame, but they liked Jay.
Right.
So the whole thing was, okay, we're going to move forward. We're going to make Jay the president.
Yeah.
Dame was the one who was really the one running the label, though. But Jay's the president. So now you got to make a choice. It's like, okay, what the fuck? Now, at this point, too, now they're having a little dissension because of bullshit and whatever. There was rumors. Now, what's come out now, but Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah at the time. Jay-Z had the album with R. Kelly. Dame Dash to himself said that, he didn't feel comfortable about that because of what Aaliyah told him about R. Kelly. Jay-Z still said, fuck it, went on and did it anyway.
Yep.
And so this is causing a lot of fucking dissension, and people are mad at each other for this shit, right? So, Jay becomes the president. Some changes happen. Magically, Dame gets fired from Rockefeller, and then
how do you get fired if you're a partner?
It's a weird story. I'm freeballing because this story because I was a kid when this happened, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then, of course, I haven't gone back, because actually it's a very sad story to me, because I like them so much. Because them together is like fucking Batman and Superman together. Yeah. But, seeing them apart, it's sad. So, that's the one story that I just don't like to go back to that far. But, because it sucks. Yeah. But, because it's hood legends, man. But, I don't know if he ended up getting fired, but some way, somehow, he loses control of his portion of... No, actually what happens is they split Rockefeller.
Oh, okay.
And basically people are made to make a choice, which is like...
Go with Jay-Z or go
with Jay or go with Dame. A lot of people were already signed to Dame. One of those people being Kanye West. Because Dame Dash signed Kanye West. Jay-Z, which is, has been talked about heavily, Jay-Z never believed in Kanye West. Jay-Z was like, you make dope beats, but your ass can't rap. Don't fucking rap. Just keep making beats.
Right.
Dame was the one who was like, your beats is fire. You want to rap? Okay. All right, let me see. He was like, all right, I like it. Just work on it. When Kanye worked on it, he presented Dame some shit, an album. Dame was like, okay, you're next. Dame was going. He was risking that. That's a risk. Now, yeah. He's like, because Jay-Z's like, no, don't put him out. Don't put him out. Don't put him out. The guy, he's not Rockefeller, quote unquote. He's not the sound and everything like that. He's different. It's not gonna work. What ends up happening is Kanye comes out, Kanye sells, they split Rockefeller. People who want to go with Dame go with Dame. People who want to stay with Hove go with Hove. Kanye ends up going with Jay-Z.
So fucked up.
The rest is history. So then, basically,
we see the album they had together and everything. So.
Yeah. So basically, the rest is history. And then the fucked up part is somehow I don't know if Dame left or Dame quit or anything like that, because shit was now all fucked up in a disarray. But after Dame was pretty much completely out at Def Jam, Jay-Z then, with all of Rockefeller, he dropped them all. And now him as the president dropped everybody, but he still survived everything. And of course now he has the biggest budget, quote unquote. He's the president now. He's the guy over there.
Yeah.
And now the flagship artist on Rockefeller is Kanye, who he also has with him now too. And like I said, the rest is history. They end up finding Rihanna, create Roc Nation. Dame is left on the sidelines being like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. But even from that story, people look at it like, a lot of people are like, okay, ethically, that's fucked up.
Right.
That's your friend. He rode for you. He did a lot for you. Kind of seems like you did him dirty. Business people say, a smart move, because he survived everything. He came out. It's a smart movie. He came out on top. And not to mention, he furthered his fucking career. And without that move, it's one of those critical moves in his career. Without that, I don't think he even gets here.
He'd be forgotten about.
He'll be forgotten about. Or maybe not forgotten about, but he wouldn't be at the level that he is today.
He wouldn't be relevant.
Yeah, without that move. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, who would you want to be? Do you want to be the Jay-Z that's like fucking on top of the fucking world all the time, or do you want to be Damian Dash? Where like I'm sure he's still doing his thing, but
yeah, Dame's good. Dame's money wise, he's fine.
Yeah, like I'm sure he has nothing to worry about, but man, to have Jay-Z level shit.
And that's the thing. And so, like you said, Jay, like me personally, this is funny how this is organic or whatever. Me personally, I have always liked Dame more than Jay. And it's just because I understand a lot of stuff that Dame sits on. Dame, from like the interviews and shit, he's very like integrity based, and it's like, I help my niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get these people in position, everything like that. I'm not saying that everything he's done has been stand up, because it probably hasn't.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, he's always been like, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate that. Dame Dash was one of the first people who got in trouble. He got blackballed by Hollywood, especially in the film, because he made, like I said, he was the producer on Paid in Full, which is a very dope movie, and it's like a hood classic and everything like that. But the I believe the executive producer on that film was Harvey Weinstein, and Dame Dash was the one who was one of the first people who saw Harvey Weinstein being like a fucking weirdo on set to girls on set, and he ended up slapping him and being like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here! Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that, you know, basically after that, it was very hard for Dame to get a lot of shit passed through in Hollywood because of that.
Probably blackballed.
Right.
Him.
And again, that was something where it's like ethically, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Of course, now
slap the pervert.
Right. Now he's looked at as like, damn, that's dope. But it's like, you know, I
mean, he still didn't get the credit because everyone got the credit. Was like these Me Too and blah blah blah.
Right.
So they're so brave for coming. I was like, this dude was the first one.
Right. And it still took him damn near 15 years to benefit off that, because that shit happened.
Yeah.
Paid in Full came out 2003, 04. Shit that Weinstein got caught last year, so 14 years. Didn't get some credit for that shit when he was the one saying like, this nigga's a weirdo. No one's listening to me. Like, So it's like I respect him so much because he is very intelligent, very smart, and he's always been like stuck by his morals. And it's, you know, he was raised a certain type of way. He's always been willing to go that route with it. I like that in him because it's like, even with the money, nothing swayed him, but he still got money.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like a story of like, damn. To me, it'd be a harder decision if it was like, fuck. Okay, he had money. Then after like the Jay-Z split, he ended up broke. Because then I'd be like, oh no, fuck it, yeah, I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. Like why not? But then when I look at it, it's like, at the end of the day, which I want a lot of people out here to you know, really think about. At the end of the day, let's say you are for all self. Or let's say someone like Jay-Z is all for himself, right? At the end of the day, when you go to sleep at night, or when you leave whatever legacy you're going to leave, you know, once you die and everything like that, are you okay with whatever narrative that's going to be spun about you? Because no matter the amount of money, no matter the amount of power or whatever, the truth's always going to come out regardless of whatever, right? We've seen it time and time again, and sometimes not even the truth. Sometimes it's flat out lies, but it's because
so many people want to take you down.
Exactly, that's gonna happen regardless, right? So it's like we've seen it to the point of we've seen people like a Michael Jackson, where all this shit came out, or it didn't come out. It was happening while he was alive, but it seems like it was like super rampant when he died. All these like things came out and everything, and and it's like he's gone. He can't defend himself. However, you look at it and you're like, when he was here, he had so much power and influence. Yeah. Right? So much so that people to this day don't even look at Michael Jackson that he ever did anything wrong or was even weird. Yeah. We know because, again...
using common sense. And like, come on.
Like, I'll at least say that nigga was a weirdo. Will I say that he fucked them kids or touched them? No, because... it's like he was under federal investigation for years, and it's like they gonna catch you, bro. Like you can't pay the feds off. Like no, especially no entertainer. No, I don't give a fuck how much money. Like you can't pay them niggas off.
Yeah, because you find one person and be like, no, I'm
Right.
gonna take this person
Right,
down.
and then not even that. It's like the feds are backed by the government, so it's like the government got more money than you do. So it's like what can you do? You know what I mean? We just saw with Epstein, right? He had all this money, right? The government didn't want that nigga around, so he's not around. Like point blank, period. But he like Michael Jackson. I would say he's withstood the test of time, and he's still looked at as like, yeah, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, not possible pedophile, you know, weirdo Michael Jackson. No, king of pop. Flip side to that is you look at someone like Bill Cosby, has all this money, power, influence, did a lot of shitty shit to people, but I wouldn't say anything that would be, at least from what we know, anything that would be considered like fucked up. Right, you know, he was very mean to black people. He had these fucked up opinions and shit like that. Didn't really help a lot of black entertainers. He didn't really help them a lot.
Side note: he sells Quaaludes for $15.
Oh, off top.
Just letting you know.
Bill's the plug, y'all.
Yeah, just
go to Philly prison. That Bill out here slanging them still.
Little callback for the people who want hot takes.
But you know, he got accused of all these things, and now. He's most likely gonna die being serial fucking rapist Bill Cosby. And,
right.
And everything that you know about Bill Cosby, from fucking the Cosby Show to being legendary stand-up comedian, Fat Albert, all these great things you know about him. Now what do you hear?
They're fucking buried, man.
They're gone.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no one's gonna rerun that shit.
They're not. No one's gonna give. Oh, this is Bill's side. No one's gonna. No.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like.
What happens when you're just off fucking question, but what the hell happens to royalties after you die? Like once Bill Cosby dies, like, and they have, let's say whatever TV company buys the rights to show the reruns, who gets that money?
It would be his estate if he has one set up. Which he should.
So it'd be like to his kids and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be to, even though one of his kids is dead, which is Ennis. He died in the 90s. I don't know if he had another kid, but it would go, if not his kids, it goes to his estate, and then his estate is controlled by his family, which he has a wife. He has.
Then question, at that point, are we okay with like those people making money off of his work?
His
like
family?
Like the reruns and shit like that. Like, is it okay to start watching those again? Like, because that that money is not going to him directly. It's going to people that possibly need it.
See, here's the thing about that. For me, I feel like anything that someone created, whatever, it's already been out in the world. I don't see the point of taking it out. Unless it was something that was like legit used in like a fucking crime. If like someone made an album, on the album you hear like some girl getting raped in the background, like, yeah, don't fucking play that. That's weird. Or whatever, right? Like,
I need the real sound. Like all these actors, voice actors just couldn't get it.
Moans.
Like,
I need the real moans.
Because I know what it sounds like.
All right? But it's like, someone explained to me the point of, especially when...
That'd be such a weird thing. So I just keep picturing like someone raping during the sound record. Like, why? That'd be
shit. I still I have a real theory that this is an off theory just because there was so much shit in the 90s and everything like that, right? But I have a theory that on California Love, right? Dr. Dre's vocals and ad-libs and shit, I'm either convinced that he is getting some pussy or getting some head while he's on his ad-libs. Or my other theory was, this is just a wild theory, right? Because there was so much gay rumors and shit back then. I have a theory that he was fucking Tupac, and that's why he gave him the song. That's just my theory. It's my theory
based on absolutely nothing.
Based off nothing, right? But those ad libs are the weirdest shit ever.
I gotta listen to it again.
Listen to the ad libs, because he's literally in the background going, oh yeah. Like listen. I'm like, what the fuck? like, I'm like, think about today's ad-libs, right? Today's ad-libs, you get like a skirt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's wild shit, whatever. But it's like,
do you not skirt when you're having sex?
You don't skirt?
You don't skirt?
I skirt.
Skirt.
But it's like, for the most part, it's pretty mild, right?
Yeah.
Like girls, the girls' album's a little different. Like Cardi B, sometimes she'll have an ad lib where like it's like a moan or it's like it's whatever, right?
Girls
Which
can get away with that.
they can get away with that. That's fine, whatever, right?
Because we want to believe it. So.
Shit, it sound dope in my head. My headphone, I'm like, ooh, shit, this shit sound gushy.
Yep.
But those albums for me especially, they just creep me out because it's like. For me, he's so forceful with it, and I'm like, what would make you do this in the booth or whatever? Especially when I'm assuming that this was recorded with Tupac, right? Right. So it's like, especially during that time, because it wasn't no like, just send me the verse. Not during that time, right?
I really don't want to believe that. Because I also think like how we record your album, it's like it's one person at a time. It's not like in like voice acting with animation where you have to have multiple people in the booth,
right?
Because you're like talking off each other, or whatever, working with each other. That one is like I go and record, then you go next, and we fix it in post.
Right. So especially the way Dre records too. Dre records in analog, which is like that's the old school way to record. So it's like there's like a big ass reel and everything like that. So whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or at least during that time period, he did.
This went off the rest.
Yeah,
but we called it in the beginning.
Yeah, we called it. If it comes out, hey. But I'm like, that was always my theory because there was like a lot of shit and everything. I'm just like, man,
someone can do the research for us because
I need to know.
We're not.
Yeah,
we've said it many times. We don't do research.
It's very weird. So go back, listen to California Love, but listen to Dre's ad libs. It's fucking weird.
But going back to the Bill Cosby thing, and Bill, like comparing Bill Cosby, what he did to like what Jay-Z did, it just sounds like it's that fine balance because it seems like Jay-Z found a balance to be like a shrewd businessman and somewhat still ethical, or at least in the public eye. Whereas Bill Cosby, somehow everyone fucking knew he was just like a piece of shit, not ethical at all,
right?
And was just doing all this shit. And it took forever, but eventually got caught up.
See, but that's the thing because, like you said, like Jay-Z played that fine line, right?
Yeah.
I would say Bill was kind of doing the same thing because to like the entertainment world, Bill was a dick. Everyone came on and said Bill was a dick.
Right.
Like, right? But the thing that we also do know, Bill was, in my opinion, if not the first, I think he was the first that at least I knew of that was doing that shit constantly and heavily. He always gave to HBCUs, always gave money to the black community, always put money into urban programs and all that shit. He did it damn near like almost every month he did that shit. Right? So it's like,
again, to me that's not balancing it out. Because if everyone's calling you a dick and shit like that, like you still need influence over them. Like maybe he thought he was so big that it don't matter if I'm a dick to you. I'm gonna throw money at these motherfucking things, and you're gonna have to fuck with me.
But see, here's the thing where, because when you say everyone, like people personally don't say that Bill Cosby is a dick. Regular people,
right?
It's like it's just these people in these pockets, and because they have so much influence and like they're a celebrity
and they're scared. I mean, of course, like you come out saying that shit publicly,
right?
Because Bill Cosby, this is way in the past. Like he still has that influence and the power, even though everybody knows he's a dick. Because you decided to come out and say it publicly, he's gonna go after you, and no one's gonna have your back. Like right now, let's say Jay-Z's doing all this fucked up shit, and like I know, for an example, like for whatever reason I know all this shit, I go, you know what, I'm coming out with it publicly because you know what, I feel like I know, all these other people know. It seems like everyone knows, like ever since I entered this circle.
Right.
I'm gonna just come out and say it because you know what, my ethical insights,
my ethics tell me that I need to.
Yeah, that I need to make this public and whatever needs to come out. I do it. No one has my back because that influence Jay-Z has, that balance that he found between like how he treats people, gives money to whatever, has his business, because he's so in tune with that and balances it out. No one's gonna have my back, even though for a fact or whatever in this scenario, he's the worst person in the world.
See, and then that's the thing where I look at it and I try to I look at it more like when you get to that certain level of fame. We talked about it before. Like you can almost get away with anything, right?
Yeah.
Because people just they just want to like you. They want to believe that you're like the greatest person on earth or whatever, right? I find it like I find it funny that which I'm not saying like we're just using Jay-Z because he's the example right now,
Yeah.
right? But like you look at someone like Jay, and I look at it and I'm like, for me personally, I think Jay-Z's dope, right?
I think it's cool.
Like I personally just like Dame more because like Dame has taught me more in my lifetime than Jay-Z has. I love Jay-Z's music. I love Jay-Z's his thought process on shit, or at least from what I think his thought process is. But Dame Dash has done more sitting in front of like a camera and being like, "Don't do this shit," than Jay-Z ever has. Like Jay-Z, of course, he's done it in music, and then like he's put codes in, and you got to figure it out, which is fine because I've been able to do that. But also, for my lifetime, Jay-Z has never made himself too accessible. He hasn't. He just hasn't, right? So I look at it and I'm like, who would I rather listen to? Would I rather listen to Jay-Z, where it's like I have to go find him, I have to go seek him out. He has to want to take time with me to get here. Or I feel like if I walk up to Dame Dash on the street, ask him a question, Dame's gonna be like, look, he's gonna break it down to me. He's gonna waste his 5 minutes telling me, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that, fuck them niggas, whatever.
Yeah.
I respect that more than the Jay approach because, of course, J. Cole has a dope story about when first time he met Jay-Z before he was fucking J. Cole. He stood outside of his Jay-Z's office and everything. Jay-Z came outside. The Maybach was parked outside. J. Cole went up to Jay-Z and was like, "Hey, I'm an artist. I got." But he was trying to market himself as a producer, not as a rapper. Just yes, he was like, I got these beats and everything. He said Jay-Z looked at him and was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this?" Like, he gave him a beat CD. He's like, "What you want me to do with this shit?" Like, and he was like, "Oh, like you can just listen to it, whatever." He said he grabbed it, walked in the Maybach, the car drove off. Not a fucking like, hey, like I'll definitely do that. Not a whole like, oh, I'll check it out. He's like, what fucking supposed to do with this? Grabbed it, walked in the car, took off.
Okay.
Fucking years later, this is the dude that he signed, which I don't even know if you knew that shit or whatever, right? You probably didn't.
Probably not. Yeah.
Like, but of course, to the public, we see the shit, and it's like, 50 Cent always said he was like Jay-Z smart because Jay-Z only stands next to his artists when they get popular, like when they hot. When they cold, he's nowhere to be found. Can't like don't put that around me. I don't care about this and that. Who's that or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's like when they popping, he's right fucking there, and it's like this is the guy. This is the new dude. Like,
at that point too, like is it fucked up to just like when your artist isn't hot to just disappear?
Is it fucked up? Are you saying is it fucked up or is he fucked up for doing it?
Is it fucked up like the situation itself?
Yeah, because that's again, it's an investment. That's your artist and everything. If you are, especially if you have if you have that power and influence
Right.
and things like that, you have the ability to make or break someone, right? And it's like, okay, if he's not hot based off of his own doing, that's different.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not always gonna be able to save you, bro. Like you gotta.
Because that's my thinking. Like he does this shit. Maybe like he says like, hey, you gotta do this, and then
And they don't do it.
They don't do it because, of course, like once you get that, for whatever reason, once you get that little taste of fame and whatever, you're just gonna think it lasts forever.
Right.
It happens to a lot of people. They probably don't listen to him. They probably stop putting in the work because everyone knows like once you lose that hunger.
Hove. I'm with Jay.
You lose that hunger. You think you're safe and shit like that.
Right.
So you don't do it. So I don't see it as fucked up if like I'm not gonna stand next to this person that's not putting in the work anymore.
Right. Which I would agree. Yeah. But like I said, we don't know
The details.
We don't know the details, right? However, like I said, Dame was always a person who fought for like the lowest person on the fucking label.
So right now,
thought they were dope.
Right now, if Jay-Z and Dame both came up to you and were like, "Hey, we want to sign you," who do you want to go with?
Right now, in present stance, or if it's going back to like
right now, they're knocking on our door.
So
and they're fighting for you,
and we know everything about them.
Yeah, you know what you know, like all the information that you know from whatever. Mm-hmm. They're knocking on this door, be like, "We want to sign you. We heard Northside Summer plug." And we want to sign you. Who are you gonna go with? Me, Dame, or Jay-Z?
I'm gonna make the business decision go with Jay. Like
There you go. Because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like if he came up to us and was like offered us to do a pod, like, hey, we want this podcast to be on Tidal.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, knowing everything we know, we're gonna fucking put in the work. We're gonna get as much as we can out of it. Realize like what he's done to other people.
Right.
Not think we're special because we're not.
Right.
And then build off that.
And then
because if we still like, even if we get whatever, like all that, like he drops us whatever, if we still have a good relationship,
right,
you know, and we saw it like it's just business,
right,
we can always like make more money and like have influence, like with like, hey, Jay-Z's like he can vouch for us.
We're still cool with him and everything and whatever. And I would look at it even differently than that. I wouldn't even care that we'd be on Tidal. I would be like, we can have. I would wait for the one chance we would have for a convo with that nigga, and I would pick his brain on everything. Yeah, and then I'd be like, that's all I need. I don't need anything. Like I don't need you to fucking post the fucking podcast for us or whatever. That's fine. Whatever. Do what you want to do with it. It's your show. You own it now. Whatever. Right. Yeah. But as long as I got that information from you regarding that, I don't need you to help me anymore because I feel like you just gave me the keys to help myself.
I think that's what he did too. I think maybe that's why he sees it the way he sees it. He's just like, I learned what I learned and I took it this fucking far. It's just like, if you guys can't do that for yourselves, like if you're not worth putting in like, hey Jeremy, if you're not worth putting in like that work and like doing all this shit that you've learned and you're just banking on other people saving you and other people's names saving you, then that's your fault, man. Like, especially with that story of like he told him like 50 Cent's coming, he's killing it. Like I see this shit, I see the pattern early on, like.
And that's something to where I look at it because Jay said it himself. Jay said it in a bunch of bars, a bunch of different lines, a bunch of different times. He was like, you know, pretty much without saying the exact bar off the top of my head, he's like, I'm not in charge of grown men. We all make decisions. We know certain things to do and what not to do and everything like that. I can't help you. I can't carry you all the way.
Yeah, it's not.
And I agree with that. So, of course, do I feel like there was situations where probably, there were people who were like, oh, but you're Jay, you can just help. He's like, I'm not doing that because, nigga, nobody helped me. Yeah. Whatever. Because we definitely get that. Yeah. Right? So, it's like, we understand that. But I look at it, too, in a different position because it's like, when it comes to someone like a Dame or just anyone, right? If you have the ability, because you know, for example, a lot of people who don't know, but what's the director who directs Empire? He's directed like all those movies. Black guy, he's gay.
I forgot, but I think I know what you're talking about. Whatever, him.
You're right, him. Whoever the director of Empire is, Dame Dash found him. Mm-hmm. Dame Dash found him. They ended up connecting. Dame Dash gave him the money for his first film. He made what he made and then took off from there. And this was like a couple years ago, but that same director, I think Dame gave him $1 million. And, you know, he believed him, invested in him. Yeah. He ended up taking off. And now he's like on top of the world because now he has all these shows and he's done all these great movies and everything like that. The guy never paid Dame back his money. And once again, this is just ethics and being ethical. Someone helped you. They saw your vision when no one gave you a shot. He gave you a shot. Yeah. He fronted you the money. You created what you created. Now you're going to turn around because now you Mr. Big Shit and everything, and you ain't going to pay me and everything like that, which is another dope moment. He ends up, because I think it's that dude's birthday or something, like his birthday party or whatever. Mm. He ends up coming up on stage where he's at and basically confronting the dude and like screaming at him, being like, "Give me my money."
Yeah, like, it's like you have it.
Yeah, he's like you got it. Like, I don't care about nothing. Just give me my money. Yeah, and then the dude's like, oh, Damon, like, I'll talk to you. He's like, nah, fuck that. Give me my money, nigga. Like, I'm not talking to you. Like, I helped you. Yeah.
See, like, that's the only reason I would choose a Dame over a Jay. It's weird. Because it seems like from the stories I've heard, right, it seems like he actually cares. Right. So when you just happen to fall on some bad luck, like all these fucking things happen and I just couldn't keep up with like my part of shit.
Right.
I think if it's a true story, like it's true, and I'm sure he sees it. Like he doesn't fall for bullshit.
Right.
He will help you.
Exactly.
But in that same instance with the J, he'll still drop you.
Yeah, he'll be like,
Nah.
He'd be like, yeah. He'd be like,
Yeah.
man, you did this shit. That's on you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and that's the thing.
I like these categories we're making.
Yeah.
The J category.
J. J versus Dan. Where would you go? But it's funny because when I was thinking about the topic and everything, I was trying to think about how to formulate it. I looked at it just like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, life is literally, you want to be J or you want to be Dame.
Yeah.
Because like, there's a lot of people on social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, who up and down all day, they talk like Dame. And it's like,
Cause I've heard it too. Like that, the reason I in the beginning of the podcast I said I would be a J, just because I hear these people with nothing, with no money,
right,
not really working at anything, be like, man, if I had all this money, I would give it away and I'd help the community. Blah 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 blah. Same people, as soon as they start making a little fucking money,
it won't give you shit.
Can't even pay for your lunch when like you're like you just happen to not get paid until the next day.
Right.
Won't do that shit. It's like, nah, make your own fucking money, because you know why? They started working. They started realizing how fucking hard it is to do this shit.
Right. And also, of course, the same thing that goes with that is once you get money, everyone knows that it's not easy to make money, but everybody gonna want to take money. Like, to quote 50 Cent. But like, everybody wants to fucking take money. So once you start realizing that now everyone has their hand out, of course you're gonna be like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Like, I got here and everything like that, right?
I do like what Dame does. Like from the stories you told me, it seems like he doesn't really invest in the idea or whatever. He invests in the
passion?
the person.
Yeah.
The person itself. You know, like that's I think that's how you're supposed to invest if you're doing something like artistically or creatively.
Right.
If it's not like a business like a laundromat or cleaners or whatever shit like that.
Right.
You invest in the person.
Right.
Because they're the ones gonna like once the ideas start formulating, it starts coming up and up and up.
They're the ones that's gonna push it to.
Yeah, because their passion drives it and they make it happen.
Right, and that's something to now. I'm gonna bring it or whatever because we had a conversation a while back, a private conversation, but I remember that you have brought up, about how that you felt like in a situation that you would be like looked at as like the bad guy and everything like that, right? And I had told you during that situation, I was like, who gives a shit? I'm like, why do you care? Why do you care? I'm like, and also I was like, who's calling you the bad guy? I'm like, cause, to me, it matters who's calling you the bad guy, and then it would matter if you care or not, or everything, right? We had this conversation, so then I look at it now using this same thing, right? For all intents and purposes, for what? For I would say for a couple of days, a lot of people are trying to come at Jay as like he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Now today, a lot of people, because Dame said this, are like, shit's just flipped, and Dame's bitter and everything, and now Dame's the bad guy and everything like that. So with the same categories and the same things, I feel like because Dame is more of like kind of like the people, he doesn't get that bad guy rap a lot. I would say Jay-Z gets a lot more than Dame would, right? Would you still want to be Jay, knowing that in a lot of these situations you're going to be seen or considered as the bad guy, even though you know that you're right in the situation, but you know that maybe people around you are going to consider you the bad guy, maybe people in your family, your close friends, or people who you hope, or even damn near your community,
looking at me like, damn, I can't believe we did that shit. Like,
and everything. But you might feel like no, I'm right. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen.
Yes, I am completely okay with that, and that conversation, it led to something else, but it did help me realize some shit.
Right.
But yeah, I'd be completely okay with being looked at as a bad guy and all that crap, because I did it with my own family. Like, it's been years now, but like I was the first one to be like, yeah, I'm cutting my mom out of my life. Do you know how many people looked at me like you ungrateful piece of shit, like that's your mom, and like this and that, and like, well, you can't, because again, everyone's fucking the best reason they come up with was, but that's your mom.
Right.
I'm like, that's not a fucking reason, but whatever. I was looked at as like, the complete bad guy. Fast forward to today, ain't no one talking about my mom. Like she did what she fucking does. I was the first person to see it and crap like that. So yeah, like when it comes to like, if I could do that to my mom, like all this like business stuff, and if I'm perceived as a bad guy, even though I'm making this much money, I'm making all these other people that you don't hear about,
Right.
like a whole bunch of money, and people that like that do need it, like Kanye fucking needed it, J. Cole needed it. I'm making them extremely rich and all shit like that because
I just backed them.
yeah, because I just backed them. Yeah, I don't care. Like, look at me as the bad guy. Go ahead and cry while I fucking count this money.
Right. And that's something because you brought up like the people you can help and everything like that, the people you would influence. There was an article which I want to find it. Right?
Wait, sorry. Even though I don't like this guy, the whole like, how can I help people if I'm broke?
Steve Harvey?
Yeah. The person that made that quote.
The person I won't name, but Steve Harvey.
If Jay-Z did the whole ethical thing and went down with Rockefeller and he's not president and he's like, nowhere to be found now.
Right. No one would be talking about him like this.
Huh?
Like no one will be talking about him like this.
No one would be talking like this. There would be no Kanye. There would be no J. Cole. There wouldn't be a Rihanna. There wouldn't be probably a Beyonce.
Like, no, well, she was still, but who knows? Maybe not that big.
Yeah, she wouldn't be no queen. She'd be Beyonce, but she wouldn't be.
Beehive, get this nigga.
You know what I mean?
Get him, Beehive.
Like carried over like a lot.
Right.
You know, as far as like her being, I think she owns a lot of her shit, right? Like she pretty much does what she wants because she can.
Yeah, she. I mean, not to cut you off, but real fast, she had that whatever she made that. I mean, obviously, I don't know if it was all her, but obviously her team and probably Jay too. But she had that dope deal with Netflix about that last little Coachella thing or whatever. But I think she didn't get paid for Coachella, but she just wanted the rights to the footage.
Yeah.
And then she ended up getting the rights to the footage and then creating that, selling it, and fucking getting like a shitload of money. Right. That is something where you got to look at the future and be like, okay, don't pay me. I don't care about this or everything, but I have an idea.
Right.
Or someone, you got to trust in your team. Be like, we know what to do with this shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like Beyonce wouldn't be anything right now if it like wasn't, but it's just like, but her becoming partners with Jay and like combining their
combining forces,
I guess, for lack of a better word.
Right.
She's able to do what she does now, which is basically like, hey, I have an idea. I want to do this.
Okay.
And it happens because like all these other people that are also getting paid.
Right.
You know, now they have a job to do all this like great stuff.
Right.
It happens.
So, and I wanted to just bring up it was a article in a magazine, but they talked about the Rockefeller like family tree, and like it was ridiculous because they put those three dudes, which is Biggs, Dame, and Jay. That family tree has spawned so much shit in this industry that like you don't even know.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this person was this person. This person, he knew this person, everything like that. And it's like, again, looking at it from just the lowest perspective of it, these is all three street niggas.
Yeah.
They all took different turns, they all went different routes, but they were able to influence so many people, but also put so many people into positions of power to do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the thing where it's kind of the trade-off, too. And that's why I wanted to have the conversation. I feel like we did a good job having the conversation to at least leave it up to you guys to think about it.
Yeah, that it's not so black and white, that it's not so, like, just because this person is calling that person an asshole, it's just like, is it, or was it their fault?
Right. Or if if that person is calling them an asshole, is there validity to it? And are you willing to take that?
Yeah.
From it to live that lifestyle and everything like that.
And would it even matter if it's true?
Exactly, because at the end of the day, again, going with the integrity approach, like I said, I choose Dame knowing Dame now, right? So this is knowing that Dame made a shitload of money. He ended up still making a whole bunch of dope investments, created a whole bunch of dope stuff. He's well off. He's fine, right? But of course, if that story would have ended, Dame's fucking broke back in Harlem and Jay's here. I don't want to be Dame. You'd be insane to want to be Dame. Like, why would you want to be Dame? Like, that's dumb. You gonna so wait? You mean to tell me you had all this shit? You found Kanye, gave him a shot, and then this nigga took all that shit and you broke? And you was doing interviews talking about that niggas in there. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, what, to have, like, that moment
years I kept it real. Like,
ooh, yeah.
That's another thing, all right? We talked about that with the podcast with your brother and everything. We talked about more on, like, a street level and shit. But let's talk about it just in general is the last thing I'm going to say, too. The whole thing when it comes to, like, keeping it real and doing it for the culture and all that shit, me personally, I do agree with Steve Harvey, right? We don't do shit. Well, of course, we do it for the love. We do it for the passion. We do it because, yeah, it is dope shit. And, you know, we believe in this podcast. When I rap, I believe in whatever I'm making at the time, right? When we do certain things, like, we believe in it. Cause we don't just do it with the hopes of, like, oh, this might catch and we might get rich.
Yeah, we're just trying to go viral, like whatever the trending thing. We're
we don't do that, right?
Cinnamon challenge. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it.
Damn, you
showing my age.
Yeah, you went like 13 years ago, whatever. But you know, we do it because we believe it. We have a passion for it, right? However, if you don't think that we don't have some sort of, like, in our mind, there's like a number or a monetary figure that we want to see for shit or whatever, I feel like you are very short-sighted because no one is going. I can't, like, as much as I talk about the North and everything, I fucking name my project Northside Summer and anything like that. I cannot help anybody in my area if I'm broke. I can't do it. As much as I can sit there and I can tell them about fucking financial shit, try to help them with their credit, talk about mental illness and shit, whatever. I could fucking say it until I'm blue in the face. However, if I have the financial backing to be like, all right, not only am I gonna tell you it, but now here's a center. Here's a center for you to go learn about this shit. Or, damn, there's a big problem with mental illness in our community. You know what? Boom, now we got a mental hospital right in the North.
Yeah, with proper support staff.
Like take that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we can't sit here and just, like, all this shit. People just, they just like to talk.
Yeah.
About shit. They just like to, like, oh man, yeah. If I was Jay, I'd give 5 minutes to the hood right now. Tell them, like, hey, nigga, right? Okay, first of all, you can't just do that.
Yeah, you can't just give money and expect these people to do the right thing.
Right.
Are you gonna do the due diligence to fucking make sure this money's going to the right places, helping the right people?
Right.
It's not getting fucking embezzled or all that shit.
Right, and then it's like, you know, you got, like, everyone has these grandiose thoughts and everything. It's like they think it's so easy and everything like that, and it's like it's not. It's not, because freaking you look at someone like let's just bring him up right now. So look at someone like a LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. For all the shit that LeBron gets or whatever, to me you can't talk about that man because that man created a school in his fucking neighborhood that's helping not only kids who are underprivileged have a better shot at getting to college, but I think since he's opened that school, like, fucking everyone has, like, amazing grades. Everyone's either college bound or going to college. Yeah. You know, I'm like, that's insane. And that's just someone being like, no, if you give them the fucking resources, they can do it. I know they can. Yep. And I'm gonna prove it. Period. And it's like, again, for you niggas, you might care, like, no, man. People might give a fuck about, put 15,000 in the hood right now. You can help whatever. LeBron's like, you know what? I'll do you one better. I'm not gonna give you money. I'm gonna give you a school. This school will help you more than me giving you $100,000 right now. Yeah. I guarantee it. This is what happens. What happens?
Really, I'm gonna give this person money. What are they gonna do with it? But if I give this, like, if I make it so that they have to work to get what they want, they'll probably succeed better. Right.
And not to mention, if I provide a place that not only I'm in charge of, A, I didn't go to that school, as you guys can tell. No, but we put a school that I'm in charge of, A. B, then not to mention, they go there, they're going to not only have the best that fucking these schools like Harvard and shit have. Yeah. This is on a lower level too. This is like what, a high school, I think it is. Mm-hmm. But they're going to be able to network early with people because we all went here. Yeah. Like, you know, and it's like
create their own little like network.
Yeah, create
people.
The legacies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what fucking Harvard, Yale, Princeton, them shits that they don't have. Like, it's not a whole. We went to the school. No, they have legacies.
Yeah.
Oh, my father went here. Oh, my father knows your father.
Go here. Make sure you get that little piece of paper saying you went here. You have this job right there. You don't have to. You don't even have to get grades. You don't have to show up or anything.
No, just I went there.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing that we need. That goes back to again. You want to be Jay. You want to be Dame, because you know for everything that you could say that like a Dame has done and everything, which he's done a lot of great shit and everything like that. What's gonna matter more? Dame telling people that Jay-Z's an asshole, or some kid right now, when it does happen, some little black kid or Hispanic kid or whatever, right? They see or they see that press conference where you got black nappy headed ass Jay-Z with his fine ass wife talking about, yeah, we just bought the so and so team out here and everything. You think what's gonna inspire that kid more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's like,
you know what? Owning a football team is a real possibility now for black and brown people.
Right. The same thing when people can shit on Obama as much as you can. Hell, I've done it at points or whatever, right? Because there's a lot of shit that he couldn't do or didn't do.
Right.
Right. But I would never sit here and be like, that man isn't a legend. Because he did what people before him couldn't do, which is he succeeded, became the president. He showed all these kids out here that you could fucking do it.
Yep.
You can do it. Like, it's possible. You got to apply yourself and actually try. And that's the thing at the end of the day. When it comes to ethics or business, you know, at the end of it all, what are you going to leave on this world? Like, what do you want your legacy to be? Do you want it to be, you know, I kept it 100, I didn't sell nobody out or whatever, and you know, no one can call me this or that and the third? Or do you want it to be like, you know, I had to do what I had to do, however, fucking look at all the people I helped by doing it. If I'm the bad guy, I'm the bad guy. It is what it is.
And look at all the people that helped. Like, would you be like the ultimate villain but spawn a superhero that spawned other superheroes that spawned other superheroes, all because you were a fucking villain?
Yeah, that's Jesus. That's Jesus. That's Tupac. That's Nipsey. Like, that's all these people that we look at as superheroes, but the world themselves.
Yeah, looked at as bad guys.
Yeah, Nipsey thugs. To the world is he's a 60 Crip who died because he was supposed to die because he was a gangbanger. Tupac was, again, we can debate that. He wasn't a gangbanger, but whatever.
Y'all some nerds.
Tupac, you know, was someone who was a rapper who did a lot of shit. He was convicted of rape. You know, there's all this shit on his name. Shot 2 cops, all this stuff on his name, and we look at him as damn near like Jesus.
Yep.
And like, but to other people, he's a menace. Mm-hmm. He did, like, what did he do? Like, you know, and it's like, again, at the end of the day, your impact that you leave on this world is going to be the most important thing that stands the test of time.
Yeah.
Not how much money you had, not how real you kept it, not how many niggas fucking cried at your funeral. That shit don't matter. Like,
it don't matter because you're dead.
Because you're dead. All right. Like, you know, my dad died when I was 1. More people still talk to me about my dad to this day than anyone can tell me how many birds he had, fucking how many cars he had, and no one gives a shit about that. They always just tell me like, he was a genius. He did this. I remember when your dad did this. Your dad was investing in this. Your dad had this and everything like that. That to me means way more than any fucking hood shit, gang shit, cocaine shit to me. That don't, cause it's gone now. We don't have it. Like, I don't have any of it. Wish I did, but I don't. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if I know that he left that impact, I know that me doing shit like this and the shit that we're doing or whatever, I'm at least trying to rival it. Yeah. You know, or I'm at least trying to actually make it a possibility to rival it.
Yeah.
You know, like, because today it happened. There was someone on Instagram. We posted that Workout Wednesday clip, And it was very random. I was like, okay, this is like super late. But because usually like people don't really comment after like the first day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there was a girl. Shout out to her. She just wrote something that was dope because it was like, you know, she was pretty much saying like she sees that we're always doing something, and she was like, it motivates me to like want to do stuff or to just do stuff. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck if like I don't care about no.
Podcast just cuts off right there. Wait, I had more to say. Oh man.
I don't give a fuck what you want. Marketing with the plug. People like they listen to like what the fuck?
Damn, that started out so positive.
I'm so angry right now.
He's a Jay-Z.
Does Nina Beyonce?
Oh man, she's a J. Cole to the.
Yeah, she's a J. Cole to my
What
Jay-Z.
gonna do your beat CD, huh? What about
Shitty ass beat CD. Bunch of shitty ass compliments. Nah, but I was gonna say like I don't give a fuck if no one pays attention to us working out. I don't give a fuck if no one pays attention to the podcast or whatever, right? If I can see that on a daily basis and we can have someone tell us like, hey, you guys are motivating me to like want to do something, that means more than like a whole bunch of shit to me because I'm like, damn. I remember when, like, you know, when this year started, I was in trouble. Like, I remember before this year started, me and Mark were in fucking Ratville, USA, sharing an apartment.
First apartment.
Sharing an apartment with rats, and we're just sitting there being like, oh, I think we should start a podcast or whatever, right? Yeah. We you know, we were just working on my music and nothing else, really, like. And it was like, we should do a podcast or whatever, right? And it's like, there was a lot. And it's like, to see from that to this, someone being like, I like y'all shit. And not only that, but y'all motivate me. That's cool. Because if I can get 1 million of those, shit. Someone's going to end up changing the world just off of our dumb shit, our dumb jokes that we do every
and some
hour.
interview years from now.
Yeah.
Like, I remember listening to the...
Yeah, I was a big fan of this podcast.
While we're on the street, like, change?
Yeah. Change. I'm a dame, but I'll take your change. But I got integrity, nigga. But yeah.
In a perfect world, you would be it's a combined Jay and Dame.
Right.
In a perfect fucking world that doesn't exist. Yeah, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And you most likely will have to choose one or the other.
Right. Or if you can, develop both. Because they're both great human beings. Like, they did a lot of dope shit. Yeah. But it's just what are you willing to withstand? Are you willing to withstand a lot of pushback from being Dame? Are you willing to withstand a lot of fucking scrutiny and doubt from being Jay? Right. You gotta be comfortable with with one or the other.
Even the perfect combination of those two people, those two categories, you will still deal with the same shit. Yeah. You will still deal with people calling you assholes. You still calling you like a shrewd businessman.
Yeah, sellout, Uncle Tom, all this shit.
And you'll still have people calling you like, man, he kept it 100. You feel like he's like the realest motherfucker in the game. Right. You get both. It's just.
What do y'all want to like? What do y'all want to see?
Does that matter to you?
Out of shit. But that's all I got. Hit them with the plugs.
You can find us at youtube.com/howdoiknowyou. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at HDIKY1. Boom. You can find my personal ones at Mr. Lucky005.
Boom. And my Instagram is DC Junior BFSB. My Twitter is DC Junior 13. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave a 5-star review. Keep them coming because we need them. We keep coming up those iTunes charts, and hopefully we'll get on these fucking pages soon. Bitch ass niggas. Follow us on Spotify. We are now on Stitcher too. I forgot to mention that. I think a couple days ago we're on Stitcher. So you can find us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, in basically damn near all your podcast providers. We're on there. Other than that, hope you guys like this episode. Keep watching. Let us know what you guys want to hear or whatever, because we're running out of topics. No, man.
Shit don't happen in the world. We can't talk about it.
Well, we're going to fucking freestyle. But at the end of the day, like we always say, if I don't know, you don't know.
Who really knows?
How do I know you? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on the YouTube. Let's go.